We are going to talk about gut health today, and I have my friend Bailey with me and James now too. So I was going to say Bailey is a mom of two boys. She's got a 3 and 5-year-old, and they may crash our party. So James has started this off. Super great. But I asked Bailey to come talk about gut health today because she has been sharing some super fascinating facts that are new to me. So I'm really excited to sit here and hear what she has to share and learn some things right along with everybody else. So Bailey, take it away.
Thank you. I am so honored, Kristen. When you asked me to do this, I was so excited and a little nervous, but I just love your podcast, and just you can see your passion for health and helping others. It's amazing. I've been enjoying all your episodes. Look forward to them. So glad to be a part of it. And yeah, just a little intro on me. I am a wife, a mama to 2 little boys, like Kristen said, and they're 3 and 5. So it's a little crazy around here. I'm hoping they don't make any guest appearances today. But I am a functional nutrition health coach. I graduated from IAN, the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. And I'm currently pursuing another certification through Mind Body Green. So it's just been amazing and learning so much along the way. And just a little backstory quick before we dive in. About 10 years ago, I started my health journey. I actually lost my sister to cancer. She was only 23 when that happened. So it was a huge thing for me, our family, and just kind of opened our eyes to different things that we were using every day and the food we were eating and the ingredients, and just kind of seeing what was behind all that. So, and that's when I dove in and wanted to learn everything I could about health and nutrition and everything like that. So, and here we are 10 years later, and it's my passion now. So, and I hope this will bless some of you today as you're listening to it. So, many people, they are struggling with things that are just being treated as a Band-Aid to cover up symptoms rather than treating their body as a whole. So you see our whole body, it works together. So when one thing's off, it's just a signal or a clue or a little cry for help that we need something, some attention. So it's all about finding the root cause and what your body's telling you. So today we're going to talk about gut health. So, and this topic has just been like, if you're follow me at all on Facebook or Instagram, you've probably been seeing, she talks about gut health a lot, but it's amazing. As I was going through my training and my nutrition classes, I noticed that the topic of gut health, it just kept coming up everywhere. Every new chapter we studied, it like all kept going back to gut health. We'd talk about hormones, it went back to gut health. We talk about the brain health, it went back to gut health. So it was just like, okay, gut health is important. And I think it's something that we don't give enough attention to. So I decided to dive into this topic, and here we are. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things I've learned. So how many people, think of people out there, in this, even maybe you, suffer from things like migraines, acne, eczema, hormone issues, allergies, fatigue, brain fog, anxiety, depression, autoimmune issues. Like, that's a lot of bad stuff, but I know so many people that have these problems. And I'm sure you do too. And as we said, some of those you might've said, like, raise your hand, that's me. So
migraines, hormones. Yep.
Yes. And I was just fascinated that learning all of these things can be signals from our body that our gut health needs some attention. So just like I said before, it's like our body is giving us these little cries or signals, or like a little alarm, like, I need some help. And it might be saying, hey, I need some gut health attention. So what is gut health? Like, that's kind of a word right now trending, like gut health, but what does that actually mean when you say that? So it's a lot more than just your digestion. Like having awesome digestion is definitely a part of it, but it goes a lot deeper than that. So gut health is you have all these little microbes in your digestive tract, and that's all the way from your mouth all the way to the end. So not just your actual stomach. There's so much, that whole digestive tract. So and these little bacteria, and microbes, they can be good, and there's bad ones. So all bacteria is not bad. Like, you don't want to just go in there and just like wipe it all out. That's not good, because there's the good guys in there that we need to keep that balance. So the key to your gut health is keeping the balance of those good and bad microbes and not letting the bad ones take over. So, and this is an amazing fact, you guys, 70% of your immune system is in your gut. Like that is huge. So when your gut health is off, it affects everything. Like your immune system is what keeps us healthy, like crazy, 70%. Like when I read that, I about blew my mind. Like that little emoji blew my mind.
And isn't that what everybody wants to improve right now, is being able to just stay healthy?
Yes, that is so important right now, what we've been through the last couple of years, like immune system. So yeah, a lot of our health problems could be solved with gut health. I believe that so much. So what are things out there that are disrupting your gut health? So we're going to list some of the bad guys. And some of them you might not even realize that you're using that are just wiping out that good gut health. So one is antibiotics. So what do antibiotics do? They are, when you have a serious infection, they take out the bad stuff. Well, they also take everything good too. So they kill that good and bad bacteria. And actually, one dose of antibiotics can disrupt your microbiome for up to 2 years. So it has major lasting effects. And I think that is something that more practitioners are starting to advise people of. If you do have to take an antibiotic, definitely get back on a probiotic to repopulate those good guys, because you literally just wiped them all out. Like they're just all hanging out trying to help you and they're like gone. So you got rid of the bad.
I remember our doctor as a kid saying like, get some probiotics, eat some yogurt, whatever. And I was like, why? Like they never told us why. I think the why is the part that everybody's missing.
Right, exactly. Like everyone needs to know that. Whenever I hear anyone on an antibiotic, I'm like, get a probiotic to follow that up. Like everybody needs to know that. So, and I am glad that they are starting to talk a little bit more about that. Like it's starting to come around, but if you didn't know that, spread the word. So, and I'm super thankful. Like we try to do a lot of natural remedies around our home too when we get sick, so we don't have to depend on antibiotics. Like we're glad they're there if we do need them. But there's so many other things that I think often antibiotics are put first before trying other things. So, and I know Kristen just did an amazing podcast called Dr. Mom a couple weeks ago. It was really helpful with stuff like that. So go back and check that out, because that gave a lot of great ideas. And take that probiotic every time. Now, another one is proton pump inhibitors. Big words here. Like I didn't know what that meant at first either. So this is a class of drugs that are used to treat GERD, acid reflux, peptic ulcers, and heartburn. So these are things like your Prilosec, your Prevacid, Nexium, stuff like that. So I
took those for years in high school. The thing I didn't know.
Right. And nobody knows. Like it's like we have the flowery commercials on TV, but we don't listen to the part. And I don't even know if that part says that about your gut health. It probably doesn't. But so we're actually, a lot of people are taking these to help with digestion issues, and it's actually making it worse because it's causing damage down the road to your gut health. So so your stomach, it needs acid to break down the proteins and keep the bacteria down in your colon. When your acid isn't present, which that's what these do, is fight acid, the colon bacteria migrate up the GI tract where they don't belong. And that's what leads to small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. So if you're struggling from heartburn, it is a lack of enzymes. So you need to bulk up on some enzymes. You can get that in food. You can get that in supplements, but that is something in the long run if you struggle with that. So another thing is estrogen disruptors or xenoestrogens. So xenoestrogens attach onto hormone receptors, causing the cells to constantly produce estrogen. So increased production of estrogen leads to fat storage. And a lot of these xenoestrogens, this is the scary part, they're found in a lot of our personal care products. So especially as women, if you're listening to this as a female, we have so many things we put on our face every day, our skincare, our makeup, our lotions, all that stuff. And a lot of those xenoestrogens are hiding in there. So it's like when I learned that after everything we'd been through with our family, it was like, are you kidding me? Like this whole time I've been using this my whole life and it had these things in it, but they also can affect your gut health in a bad way too. So and they're also found in plastic containers. Like we always try to drink out of glass or stainless steel bottles. even things like sunscreen. So just crazy. So being a label reader, which I know Kristen talks a lot about that on here, is so important. Taking empowerment and taking charge of what comes in and out of your house. So, and just getting your products over and flipping to the back and just seeing what's really in them. So, and actually, Kristen, you talked about that last week on your podcast with the 3 easy swaps. That was a good one too, that had some good ideas. So that was a great one. Here's another one, artificial sweeteners. These are so bad for your gut microbiome, you guys. A study at Duke University showed that 1 packet of sucralose kills off 50% of your microbiome. That's 1 pack. So imagine if you're eating these over and over, and you might say, hey, I don't put sucralose in my coffee or drinks or anything. It's sneaky and it's hiding in a lot of the food products that are out there. So that's where that label reading comes into handy, flipping the food things that we eat, and seeing what's actually in our food. So the constant influx of artificial sweeteners causes your body to continuously produce insulin, causing insulin resistance, which is a whole nother part of gut health, your liver, overall body health. So ditching artificial sweeteners for sure is a way to go. And I know that Kristen has talked about that before, like she uses a lot of good stevia based. I forget the name of the one that you said, Kristen, that you like, the sweetener.
Pyure. It's Pyure.
Yes, that was a good one that she's researched and read the labels and everything like that. So just using some alternatives. And actually, if I had the choice between regular sugar and artificial sweetener, I would pick sugar, because the artificial sweeteners are that much worse for you. So getting a good organic cane sugar or using maple syrup or honey or something like Pyure would be excellent alternatives. Okay, and a couple more things, steroids and NSAIDs. So these are like things like for pain, so steroids, and then NSAIDs are like your Aleve and things like that. Over time, they damage the gut lining and they increase chances of GI bleeding, and they're very taxing for your liver. So super important on that. Environmental toxins. These are things, like I said, they can be so sneaky, and it could be things that you used for years. I was in that same boat. I was using these things for years and never realized what was in them. They're harming your body and they're affecting your gut health. So looking at your cleaners, your laundry soaps, your air fresheners, candles, plugins, all those things, those are big offenders for indoor air pollution. And you're breathing them in, they're getting into your body, and they're affecting so many things. So gut health being one of them. Now, the next one, this is kind of tough, stress, because we live in a hustle, go world. It's just the way it is. But no matter how crazy your day is, just taking the time, like I like to do this in the morning as a mama, getting up a little early before the kids, even if I have to set my alarm, having that moment of quiet before the craziness begins is what helps me so much. So, but if it's like after work, take a walk, read a book at night instead of looking at your phone, because social media, that's stressful. Like I will tell you right now, when I get on there, sometimes I get stressed out. So, read a book instead, journal, get your thoughts out on paper, take time to pray, put something in your diffuser at night, just get calmed down. So just try to do things that work for you, that are going to give you, even if it's 5 minutes a day, just to decompress. So, because stress affects our overall health so much. I mean, you guys have been in a stressful situation where you felt like your stomach was upset. Like that's literal stress affecting your health, like the way you feel. Like it's just, it affects us so much. So, and then the last thing, GMOs. This is a whole topic in itself, but just to kind of summarize it, GMO foods, genetically modified organisms. So these are foods that are modified. So when a pest, like a bug, eats them, it actually will, the grain or whatever it's eating, the crop will explode in its stomach and die. So that's great to get rid of bugs, I guess. But in my brain, I'm thinking, if a tiny little bug, its belly explodes and it dies, what's that doing to me over a period of time when I'm eating GMO every day, just a little bit every day? And a lot of GMO soy and corn are the majority of soy and corn out there. So when you're eating those kind of products, which soy is in so many packaged items, so it's one of those sneaky things. Read those labels. So that is my thought on GMO. I think if you think about it a little bit, that makes sense. But so we try not to buy any GMO products. So we look for that little non-GMO label and just check what we're eating. Same with wheat too. I didn't mention wheat. That's another one that's a big offender for GMOs. So watch those especially. But if you can avoid those, then think of that little, every time you see a non-GMO, think of that little bug and its guts exploding. We don't want our guts to explode. So, so even if it's on a small scale, it's affecting our gut health. So those are all.
I recently read that even the non-GMO label does not mean that it doesn't have pesticides and all the other things on it.
Yes.
So USDA organic is an even better guide to go by, because they have higher standards than even just the non-GMO foods, which could you please just make this easy? But no, we have to go learn a thing. So here we are.
Yeah. Just like we talked about the environmental toxins, that's a place where we're getting those too, is from the pesticides sprayed on produce. So that's a whole nother thing. So non-GMO and organic is way the best choice. So definitely look for those. All right. So that is everything, or not everything, but a few of the main things that can disrupt your gut flora. And these can cause something called leaky gut syndrome. So picture this. So here's your finger. Picture these as your cells. They are tight, and these are your gut lining cells. So all the things are flowing through your gut, and they're coming, it's just going where it needs to go, out, right? The bad stuff out. Well, when you have leaky gut, those cells, they get little spaces in between. So as your stuff comes in, so over here, this is your bloodstream out here. So the stuff's coming through, and it filters out through those cells where it's not supposed to go. Your food and everything in your digestion is supposed to stay in your digestive tract. It's not supposed to leak out into your body. When the gut lining cell are loose like that, it's allowing larger molecules like partially digested food and toxins to go through the gut wall, because that's what your gut process does. It absorbs nutrients and it expels toxins. So why is this bad? So when these particles leak into your bloodstream, it triggers inflammation. And that is what leads us to so many things like allergies, autoimmune disease, depression, obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and even things like cancer. Like this inflammatory response this is causing is your body is having there's that alarm again, like this is not good, this inflammation. So inflammation of any kind in the body is a response for help. So too much inflammation and continued inflammation over time is a huge problem. And I've seen so many autoimmune disease. It's out of control how many people, and a lot of that is just an inflammatory response. So our gut impacts how our body feels, but also to change course a little bit, we're going to talk about some of the positive things. So let's switch this a little bit. So we talked about what leaky gut is, some of the things that can harm our gut, but here are some ways that you can heal your leaky gut, because that's what we want, right? We heard the bad, and now we were like, okay, how do we fix it? So basically you want to get to the root cause of your inflammation. Go back to that list of gut disruptors. So if you, as you're reading through those or listening to those, and you thought hey, I have that, things that you take or use or have used in the past, start trying to remove those from your life every day. So finding, like we talked about, finding natural alternatives to things like that. So we talked about those anti-inflammatory acid blockers, antibiotics, things like that. So trying to find better options for that. So there's a lot of things that we use in our life. We reach for herbs and oils and supplements, homeopathy, chiropractic care, our nutrition. I mean, starting with your diet is a huge part of it too. So getting those anti-inflammatory foods. And we're going to talk about that a little bit too. So eating a diverse range of foods. So skipping the sugar and the processed fats when possible. All those processed foods are full of inflammatory oils like canola oil or vegetable oil. Those are so bad for inflammation in your gut health. Getting those out of your diet. And oils that I like to cook with are coconut oil and avocado oil. And then olive oil is great, but I don't cook with it because it doesn't have as high of a flash point. So I usually put that on salads and things like that. So, but those are excellent oils for you. And actually those good fats are great for your gut health, like so good for it, and your brain health, which we're going to talk about how brain and gut connect too. Those are so crucial together. Taking a probiotic, you guys, there's so many people, like we talked about, when you're on the antibiotic, take the probiotic. Now we in our house, we actually take one every night, the kids and us as adults. And we'll talk a little bit more about kids' health, gut health too, because I believe that's a big passion of mine, because as having two littles, keeping their health is almost more important to me as a parent than my own health. Anyone else take care of their kids before they do their self? Sometimes to a not so good way. We still got to take care of ourselves, but
it's so much easier to build them now than to try to backtrack and like fix all the things. Like, I'd rather build it than fix it.
Like, I so wish when I was younger that my mom will tell you that too. I wish we knew these things, like, so starting them young right now, so important. Yes. Such a good point.
So many issues that I had as a kid with digestion specifically would have not been an issue if we had known.
Right. Just knew that connection with gut health with so many things. So, and eating prebiotic rich foods. So you guys, this is simple. Just bringing some good stuff into your diet. So don't even talk about, I can't have this. I can't have this. I can't have this. Let's talk about what we can have. So things like apples and avocados and bananas and beans and berries and broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, celery, coconut, cucumbers, figs, garlic, kale, lentils, nuts, seeds, all that good stuff, onions, pumpkins, spinach, strawberries. So lots of good stuff, getting all your good antioxidants and prebiotic rich foods. So that's something easy to add in. And
don't tell me that there's not something on that list that you could get started with.
Exactly. Like there's got to be at least a few of those things that you like. So, and we do have some picky eaters, and, just start incorporating things little by little, take it step by step. So as a parent, I just try not to react. If they say they don't like something, I try not to like make a big deal about it, and just kind of come at it from a place of, and there's things that my husband doesn't like to eat. And I always tell him, don't say that in front of the kids, because I want them to like it. I don't want them to just hear it and think they don't like it. So, but yeah, there's got to be something out there. Find what you like. You don't have to like everything, but find some of those good things. And then eating more fermented foods is a huge boost. So we talked about taking the probiotics. So getting those fermented foods that have probiotics in them is a big part of your gut health too. So these are things like sauerkraut, which I know we don't eat that every day, but I did hear someone say recently they ate like a tablespoon of sauerkraut every day, and it was making a huge difference for their health. So I'm like, I could eat a tablespoon every day if I just had some in the fridge and I like had it with my lunch or something, or, it would be no big deal. I love sauerkraut. So if you don't like sauerkraut, there's other options out there. Kimchi is one. I don't have that very often, but I have had that before. That's really good. Kefir and kombucha. Those are great ways to get it. And a lot of people even make their own. I have made my own kombucha before, but I usually buy it. But
Kefir's big here. The kombucha I tried, maybe it was just a terrible brand, but I couldn't do it. But kefir we do.
Kombucha is hard at first because you're expecting it to be like really yummy, and it kind of almost has like a vinegary taste to it.
Yep.
But if you get certain flavors, like I always tell everyone, start with, there's I can't remember what brand it is, but there's a watermelon and a pineapple flavor, and they're really good. And
is it Synergy?
I think it is Synergy that makes that one. Yeah. The watermelon is my favorite. Like, I love that. It's like a treat, and it's fizzy, like almost like a soda or a pop, so I feel like I am getting a treat. And I started my kids on it really young. So they like love kombucha. Like they ask for it all the time. I have to tell them, no, you have to drink water. You're like, you can't have kombucha all day.
James will hang on the fridge and cry if we don't give him kefir. Like he wants to drink everything we have in the house. I'm like, you're going to be, no, that wouldn't be pretty. Not that many probiotics in one day.
But yeah, that's so good. These kids are getting their probiotics. So good. So, and kefir, I've heard different ways. Do you do the dairy based or the water based? I've heard you can do both.
We get the Lifeway, so it's dairy based, and then we leave it out for 24 hours so that it double ferments, reduce the sugar, all that stuff. So
ooh, I need to get into kefir. That's one I haven't had in a long time, and I would love to.
Jared loved yogurt and he would eat it every day, but there was so much sugar in the yogurt. And I realized that switching to the non-sugar options was also bad because it had the sucralose and all those things. And so I was like, we're going back to regular yogurt, but that didn't seem like a good option either. And then when we heard about kefir, I was like, hey, guess what? We're trying this. And like now it's normal for us. It doesn't fade this. I know some people are like, it's nasty. I'm like, well, we've adjusted our taste buds, and that happens as you go through. So
yeah. And I think that is a big thing. Your taste buds do adjust as you start getting away from some of the stuff you used to eat and just start incorporating some of the better options for sure. And yogurt, same. Yeah, that was next on my list. Yogurt is full of sugar. Like you said, the sucralose, if it's sugar-free and all that. If we have yogurt, we usually do like a Greek plain yogurt, and then we just sweeten it ourselves with like a little maple syrup or honey, or whatever you need to add some fruit to it.
Vitality oils.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah. Make it like a citrusy, yummy yogurt.
Orange and vanilla.
Yeah. Ooh, that would be delicious. I want to go have some of that right now. But yeah, so that's the thing. People that are out there eating their little yogurts on the commercials for probiotics, they're full of so much other stuff. It kind of canceled it out, unfortunately. So yeah, getting some of those probiotic rich foods is super helpful. And then we talked about artificial sweeteners. So avoiding those, that's going to improve your gut health. What else? Stay hydrated, drinking water. And I think any health topic you ever talk about, drinking water is going to be on the list. It doesn't matter. So if you had a hard time, like Kristen said about the yogurt and the vitality oils, that's a great way to get your water in and give it a little to it. So yeah, there's different ways you can do it, but yeah, just getting that water in. My mother-in-law, she's just started increasing her water, and she was just saying how much better she feels. Like it's amazing. And we'll talk about that more with the kids too, but a lot of people have digestive issues because we don't drink water. Like we're drinking juices and pops and soda and things and milk all day, and there's some people that aren't drinking any water. Like it's crazy. Like your body has to have it to survive. So and then
I don't know how I made it through my childhood because I would not drink water. Like my mom tried. Like, no, I don't know how I lived.
Yes. So, and then using antioxidants and nutrients and herbs and different things to heal our leaky gut. Like we take things like digestive enzymes or zinc or fish oil, or curcumin is in turmeric, which the turmeric is actually a natural anti-inflammatory, the plant turmeric. So that is something like just incorporating those kind of things into your diet to help heal what's already been damaged. So that are some great ways to heal it.